Hello, my dear students. Welcome to the first module of the chapter in your literature reader, Tommy's Missing Dollar. And in this module, you're going to learn about the author Louisa May Alcott. And also, you will identify noun clause from a sentence. Now, this is Louisa May Alcott. Louisa May Alcott was born in 1832 and she passed away in 1888. She was an American novelist best known for her novel Little Women, which was written in 1868, and its sequels Little Men in 1871 and Joe's Boys in 1886. These were her famous novels. This text is about what happens when one of the students of Plumfield Estate School loses a dollar and how the others react to this incident, whom the students suspect, why they do so, how each of them treat him, and how the teacher treats the matter. That's the story. Let's see how it progresses. Now, this is your warm-up activity. In this spidergram given below, list 8 expressions that you think are very important for true friendship. So, see, there are. This is a spidergram, and in the middle it's written friendship, and you have to write 8 attributes about friendship, about what you consider is most important in a friendship. One is given trust, and the rest, please do fill the rest of the diagram. Whatever you feel important, you have to fill it. Now let's see how the story progresses. When young Nat Blake, a shy boy with a talent for the fiddle, arrives at Professor Bayer's Plumfield Estate School, the others realize he has a tendency to tell small lies. Read to find out what happens when another student, Tommy, loses a dollar and how the other students and Mr. Bayer handle the situation. Tommy's hens were at the bottom of all the trouble, for if they had not persisted in laying so many eggs, Tommy could not have sold them and made so much money. And had Tommy not been spending money so recklessly, Mr. Bayer would not have been obliged to insist on a savings bank and present Tommy with a private one, an imposing tin shaped like a building with a name over the door and a tall chimney down which the coins had to go. So, Tommy was a boy who used to spend money recklessly. Recklessly means very carelessly. He was very much irresponsible. He bought things with all the money he had. He spent the money on useless things. So he was very reckless, irresponsible boy in spending money. So his professor understood that this is his habit. So he found out a solution. He forced him to save some money and put it in a savings bank, and he himself presented a a savings bank to him, which was shaped like a building. It was shaped like a house. It had a door, and on the door there was a name written on the door, and there was a chimney on the top, and the chimney was an opening through which the coins had to be dropped. So I hope you understood how the savings bank looked like. And Tommy was making money by selling the eggs of his chicken. By selling the eggs of his hen. They were the hens were very persistent. Means they were even though if it was difficult for them to lay eggs, they were giving him eggs generously. So that Tommy could sell them and make money, and he was making money by selling these eggs. Tommy kept account of the sums deposited and was promised that he might break the bank as soon as he had $5 on the condition that he spent the money wisely. Only $1 was needed, and the day Mr. Bayer paid him for Mrs. Bayer paid him for 4 dozen eggs, he was so delighted that he raced off to the barn to display the bright quarters to Nat, who was also saving money for a long desired fiddle. "Hi boys, come down to the brook and see what a great snake Dan's got," called a voice from behind the barn. "Come on," said Tommy, and put his money inside the old winnowing machine. Away he ran, followed by Nat. The snake was very interesting and so absorbed Tommy's mind and time that he never thought of his money till he was safe in the bed that night. So Tommy kept account of whatever money he was putting inside the savings bank. He was dropping into the savings bank, and the professor had promised him he could open the bank when it was $5, when the sum adds up to $5, on the condition that he spent the money wisely. He had to spend the money very wisely. He should not be irresponsible. On that condition, the professor agreed that he could open the bank when the sum adds up to $5. And that day, a day came when he needed only one more dollar um, to make it up to $5, and he sold 4 dozen of eggs, and Mrs. Bear paid him for the 4 dozen, that $1. That was the last dollar he needed to make it $5. And he went to show it to Nat, the new boy. Nat was also saving some money to buy a long desired fiddle. He had been longing to buy. He had been longing for a long time to buy a fiddle. Fiddle means it is a colloquial word. It is a colloquial word used for violin. So he wanted to buy a violin, and he was also saving money to buy a violin. Nat. And Tommy went to Nat and showed these new bright shining quarters. Quarters means 1/4 of $1. So he had got 4 quarters to make it to $1. So he wanted to show this to Nat. He went and showed it to Nat. At that time, one of their friends called them to the brook. Brook means a small lake. Come to the small brook. Dan has got a very big, very great snake. Come on, maybe it is a toy snake, or I don't know whether it is a real snake. It's not said in this. Tommy ran away by putting the money in the winnowing machine in the barn. I hope you know what's a barn. A barn is a place where the cow is sheltered and all this hay, the cow's food is stored. Such place is called a barn. In Malayalam we say thurtha. Okay. So he kept the money inside the winnowing machine. Winnowing machine is a machine that is used to separate the chaff from the grain. There will be some light particles in the grain. The winnowing machine is used to separate the chaff from the grain. So he put his money inside this winnowing machine and ran away. And the snake was very interesting, and then the rest of the day Tommy's mind was filled with the snake. He was thinking about the snake, the big snake. He was always lost in those thoughts. He forgot about his money. Only when it was time to sleep he remembered about the money. "Never mind, no one but Nat knows where it is," thought the lad, and fell asleep. Next morning, just as the boys assembled for school, Tommy rushed into the room breathlessly and said, "I say, who has got my dollar?" "What are you talking about?" asked Franz. Tommy explained, and Nat supported his statement. Everyone else declared they knew nothing about it and began to look suspiciously at Nat, who got more and more alarmed and confused with each denial. "Somebody must have taken it," said Franz, as Tommy shook his fist at everyone. Now, the day after that, Tommy went and searched for his money. He couldn't find. So he went and asked his friends the morning, who has taken my money? So Franz asked, one of his friends asked, "What are you talking about? We don't know what you're talking about." So then Tommy explained the story, and Nat supported his statements. Nat said that, "Yeah, even I was there when he kept this." Then after that, everyone started looking at Nat suspiciously. Suspiciously means very doubtfully. They were all looking. But he was denying it. He was saying, "No, I did not take." He was refusing. Each and every time a person was convicting him, he was getting more and more nervous. Nat was getting nervous. "Somebody must have taken it," said Franz. And Tommy shook his fist at everyone. Means he was fist means, do you know, the closed fingers, arms. His hands are closed. The fingers were closed. Such hands are called fist. He was shaking his fist at everyone because of anger. Keep cool, Tom. We shall find out soon, said Dan. Whoever it was had better tell and not wait to be found out, said Demi. I know you think it's me, broke out Nat, red and excited. You're the only one who knew where it was, said Franz. I can't help it. I didn't take it, cried Nat. Gently, my son. What's all this noise about? Asked Mr. Bayer, walking in. Tommy repeated the story of his loss and he listened. Mr. Bay's face grew very grave. So uh, everyone was behind Nat, and Nat was telling, I know you all think it is me, it's actually not me, I have not done it. But everyone was telling, no, it is better you say it openly, otherwise you will get more punishments. It's better to admit the mistake. That's better. Where they were telling. Just then the teacher came in, and when he heard of the whole story, he was thinking about it very seriously. Very grave means very seriously. Now these are the new words we came across. Other new words are already given in your textbook. This is a fiddle. Winnowing machine is given. The meaning of winnowing machine is given in your textbook, but I just wanted to show you the picture. This is a picture of a winnowing machine, and this is a fiddle. See, this one is a fiddle. It is a violin. An informal way of calling a violin is fiddle. And this is a winnowing machine, which is used to separate chaff from the grains. Now let's see what a noun clause is. A noun clause refers to a clause that serves the same purpose as a noun and is usually dependent. Just like nouns do, a noun clause names people, things, places, and ideas. Noun clauses typically have a verb and a subject, but they cannot express a complete thought in a sentence, hence they are known as dependent clauses. Since noun clauses cannot form complete sentences, they are usually used together with an independent clause. So noun clause, it has a function of a noun. What's the function of a noun? A function of a noun is to name some people, things, places, ideas, or something like that. It gives names to all these things. A noun clause is just the same function, but it is not single word. A noun is a single word, but a noun clause is a group of words which has the same function, which performs the same function as the noun. And always a noun clause is an independent clause. It cannot stand alone. It cannot have a complete meaning. So it is always accompanied with a main clause or an independent clause. An independent clause is always there along with the noun clause or dependent clause. Noun clauses are always dependent clauses. Now read the sentences. We agreed that we would meet here exactly 20 years from the date. The clause that we would meet here exactly 20 years from that date is a dependent clause that acts as a noun. It has the same function as a noun. So it names the place where, or it names the time where they are going to meet. That's why it has a function of the noun. This clause performs a function of a noun. So it is a noun clause. Noun clauses usually begin with words like that, what, when, where, how, whether, who, whom, why, and so on. So you can always identify, it's very easy to identify a noun clause because it starts with these words, that, what, when, such words. So it will be very easy for you to identify that. Noun clauses do the work of a noun. Noun clauses can be replaced by a noun. These group of words can be replaced by a single noun, single word noun. Noun clauses. Noun clauses can always be replaced by a single word, that is a noun. Now you have to underline the noun clauses in these sentences. What my father said is of great importance to me. What my father said is the noun clause there. The other one is a main clause. Now see, Prajwal said that his brother needed to be invited. Second one it is Prajwal said that his brother needed to be invited. So the noun clause there is that his brother needed to be invited. Similarly, you have to underline the noun clauses in the rest of the sentence. Now let's go to this TML. Homonyms. Homonyms are words which have identical sound, form, and or spelling but are different in their meaning. Homonyms will have the same, it will be pronounced in the same way, and it will be having the same spelling but entirely different meanings. For example, bank. A bank can be told for a shore of the river. The land which is close to the river, that is called a bank. And another meaning for bank is an institution for receiving, lending, exchanging, and safeguarding money. Where we put our money, where we take money from, that is another bank. So these are two types of banks. So it is a homonym. The word bank is a homonym. It has the same spelling, same pronunciation, but two entirely different meanings. So in this way, you have to fill in these columns. There are a few words given in the first column, homonym, slight, first word. What you have to do is, in the first column, you have to read your textbook and find out what meaning is given in your textbook for the word slight. Write down that meaning in the first column and find another meaning of slight from the dictionary and write it in the second column. Similarly, all these words you have to do. You can identify the meanings of the words of homonyms only when it is said in a sentence. Otherwise, you won't understand the meaning. So when only from the context we can understand which word, which meaning is used of this word. Otherwise, you will not be understanding which word is here. So what you have to do is, in your textbook, what meaning is given and find the other meaning of the same word. And the meanings that you find from the dictionary, I mean the third column, from those, the words with those meanings, you have to make a new sentence with that word. Means the context should have the meaning of the third column, the ones which you found from your dictionary, not from your text. So you have to make sentences with those words which has a meaning, which has another meaning which is not given in your textbook. The meanings that are not given in your textbook. That's your TMLA. That's all for now. Thank you. Take care.